It is the second episode of our Halloween session. I know it's not Halloween, but this is when we filmed it.
It might be April, but it's Halloween somewhere.
That's right. There's Marty. He had a big double up on one of the last hands of our last episode.
To everybody's delight.
Yep.
Cool.
DM5 does always dress like that, but Wonka does not, but I wish he would.
DM5 was the victim of Marty's double up.
And I see that Eliza is still our intern and has not updated the graphics. There we go. There it is.
DM5 trying to make that money back with the ace-8 off. DM5 makes calls like this frequently. Marty's actually a guy that maybe it's okay to do against.
Actually, that's fair.
4 of you.
Looks like we are
There's
about...
two other players in, but we're never going to know what they have
we're
either.
about 40 seconds behind the times here because, you know, the interns are just horrifically bad.
They're trash people.
Wonka makes the call
Wow.
with a5 suited. That is a Marty play.
That is not a play we really ever see Wonka make when you get these positions opening.
And
but
Timmer
it's a
flats
different spot.
the big blind with 2 10s, and he has the 10 of clubs in his hand.
He has the overpair and the 10 of clubs.
And his hand just disappeared. Thanks, Eliza.
Best hand, best draw, though. Could have really put in a raise there when Marty is the initial raiser. You put in the raise as Timmer looking to get it in with 10s against Marty. But
Marty does have the queen of clubs in his hand.
yeah, that is true. So not really best draw. I think I said best hand, best draw for Timmer, but that would be clearly incorrect. There were too many hands on the board. I couldn't read them all. I got Eliza in my ear, you know, complaining about the cream cheese. Is Timmer going for a raise here? Looks like it.
Raise.
He does raise. This is an uncomfortable spot for Marty. He could be drawing dead.
Or nearly dead. It looks like
Yeah.
he's not worried about it, though. He does have overs. Even a backdoor straight draw. And, of course, the club, which is good if it comes in, but hard to know. I like Timmer's decision to check raise this.
I think this is a fold. I don't think Marty's going to, but I think this is a fold.
I agree. Timmer can just have the ace of clubs too easily.
Oh,
my
Marty
goodness.
asked to see a card, and Timmer shows.
One of the 10s.
I think that's the diamond.
Yeah,
looks like a diamond.
I think
to me.
it's a red 10.
If Timmer shows you the 10 of diamonds, you can move in with impunity.
I mean, he can have ace 10 with the ace of clubs pretty easily, right? When he shows you the 10 of diamonds.
He can.
That's like pretty reasonable. Or king 10.
But you know he doesn't have the flush.
He does not already have a flush, but if he's got the ace of clubs, you're in real trouble.
Well, assuming he's going to call the shove.
He's going to call a shove. Timmer only has 635 back.
So now Timmer's shown a card, and we're seeing another street. Not
This
an
is
ideal spot to
crazy.
be in.
Well,
So-
Timmer just has to move in now
yeah,
that
there's
he's shown the
nothing you
card.
can do except move in once you've shown the 10 of diamonds.
I think there's-
All in.
there we go.
Oh, let's see.
Marty
makes the call because the 10 of diamonds was shown, I imagine.
Marty is live, though. All his outs are live. Look at that. He only shows the queen of clubs.
Any club, any king, any queen.
34% equity. He actually is getting the right price to call.
He is.
Feels like 38% at least.
Nice answer.
Not great at math, but you know.
Does
But no
not
good.
get there. And that is bullet number 2 for Marty.
Well, he still got some money left, actually.
Oh,
Although
right.
it said he had 560 left. We see that is not the case. Looks like about 200.
Yep.
Although, no, maybe he's going to get some of that.
Yeah,
all
yeah,
those
he
sticks.
just put a bunch of chips
Yeah,
in.
so he's probably going to get the 560 back because he had started the hand with about 1,400. Maybe a little more. I guess 1,560 because Timmer had 1,000. Anyway, nice double up there for Timmer.
Maybe showing that 10 of diamonds got him paid.
Maybe. But he ultimately, Marty ultimately made a plus EV call on the river, which is not ultimately what
On
you
the
want.
turn,
Right?
yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right on the turn. So you want your opponents making mistakes, not making the right play.
Yeah. But results-wise, might have
Yes.
worked out for Timmer.
I mean, now he feels good about it. Marty might have called anyway, though.
25.
You know how it is.
Yeah, I know how it is. In the Marty-verse.
Yeah.
Marty continuing to raise blind under the gun. It's the 3rd time he's done it.
He keeps picking up pretty good hands for that. You know, he had queen 10 off last time.
Call.
Timmer gonna make the call out of the small blind. Stuart gonna
Big blind.
complete out of the big blind. Marty has no option because it is a blind raise, not a straddle.
But he's got 58% equity, which is pretty good, at least till now.
Well, we've got a gut shot for Timmer.
Now he's got 69% equity.
Everybody checks. Marty's in pretty good shape here.
Yep. Will anyone take a shot?
I feel like that's a shot Timmer needs to be taking right there with the gut shot.
Check, check.
Now he's
Excellent.
double gutted, but that's not going to do him any good.
And
Marty's going to bet 10
$10. Why?
to get called by King High.
So you get called by a... Nope.
He
his
just
ace-
shows an ace.
Actually, any ace is chopping or beating him. There is no...
He showed
So-
an ace before Stuart made a decision.
that was...
Stuart might have called with Jack High if Marty didn't show that card.
It's not impossible for $10.
Yeah, they're in a little bit of trouble. Astros only, Nationals only have one hit, so Greinke's on this game for sure.
That is a true game theory disaster moment when you turn over the ace and the best you can do is chop with every other ace, and you should...
Yeah, luckily it was only for $10.
Yeah.
I thought that Greinke was going to do well today.
Scherzer is
Fold.
out now. He's got to be out now.
It's not about him.
Team 5 back on the train.
Runs to win.
The DM5 train coming to your town with King 7.
They
That's,
do say
that's
you're
called a
spo-
jingle.
They do say you're supposed to write your own music, not use other people's, because of copyright issues, and so
All right.
I'm glad you did
Can you
that.
make a Marty jingle? Because I just made a DM5 jingle.
Yeah.
Check from Art.
Please do now.
Oh, well, let's let the hand play out, and then I'll happily do it.
But since they have the magic,
It's not much of a flop for DM5. Marty does flop a 10.
Good luck getting Marty to fold the 10 DM5.
There's a 0% chance of that happening, as there should be.
40.
Washington to win.
Call.
There might be a 0% chance of getting Marty to fold this hand at any point.
Depending on how it runs out, at least a little bit. Like that's a
pretty
card,
bad card for Marty.
and it's a pretty good card for DM5 as he turns open-ended from nowhere.
Well, from backdoor straight
Well, of
draw.
course, but I'm saying he had king high and nothing else.
Yeah, backdoor straight draw.
Of course, otherwise he couldn't turn open-ended.
That's why I'm taking issue with your statement.
He continues. Will Marty make the call?
Yep.
Yes, he will.
Marty time.
All right. So DM5 needs to get there or bluff really big. He gets there.
Gets there in a way that he doesn't really want to, but it's going to work. Unless Marty bluffs.
Is Marty gonna bluff?
This is kind of cool.
Marty is really now. Both times Marty's led here, he's really not had it. Just like he's
Oh.
gonna move in too.
This is kind of interesting.
Yeah, I don't think DM5 can call.
Yahtzee. Nice hand.
I don't see how he can
He
call.
folded
Yeah,
immediately.
he already folded.
And Marty showed it.
How about Marty turning fourth pair into a bluff there? He timed that all perfectly. He went call when he was a head,
Yeah.
call when he was ahead, geez, and then move in.
Not for 50. He bet for
Marty's got the moves. He's got all the moves. Marty's got the moves. He's like a flash dancer.
That's pretty good.
That's my Marty song.
It's got to get more of a jingle feel
Yeah.
to it. And this is a bit derivative, but I have one that is going to work pretty well for Marty.
Stop.
Marty time.
Definitely, you can't do that.
I said Marty, though. And you know it's pretty good.
I mean, I like Marty's got the moves.
Money's personal. Push-ups would be just for fun.
Because we're supposed to be inventing our
It kinda
brand
went
new
off-
songs. That was
Kind
the
of went
whole
off
point.
the rails, though. And it's got to be like a commercial jingle. You know?
Marty's got the moves. He's got all the moves. Marty's got the moves. Because it's Marty time. Marty can dance. He's a flash dancer. There you go. That's
I'm not
pretty-
sure if that's jingly.
It was jingly for a while. I wish Marty would start doing like the worm or something right now on the table as I'm singing Marty's got the moves. That would be super sweet.
That would be the moment of my life.
So Marty makes a perfectly reasonable call. In fact, everyone has pretty reasonable hands
Yeah,
here.
good
Stuart could have 3-bet the
Good for
button.
everybody.
Decided not to.
Jack high flop is good for Stuart.
Perfect for Stuart.
is a
Clubs
club draw.
for Joseph. Timmer's gonna fire. It's a little optimistic.
Yeah. He's got really nothing going on this board, and he's got 3 opponents.
This
Seems
is a board that's gonna get a lot of calls from people. It's gonna connect with these guys' ranges.
Joseph has the most 2 pairs in his range from a conventional perspective. He could raise.
Yep, not crazy at all. I mean, he has the most 2 pairs, but it's mostly Jack 8. Otherwise, it's a suited 2 pair,
Yeah,
right?
which is still
Yep.
3 8 deuces and 2 Jack 8s.
He's
or
the-
Jack deuces.
Yeah, he's the only one who has those. I guess Marty could have had them, but with Marty out.
He just calls.
Yep.
3 players.
It's always hard to know how to navigate that because it's going to be tough to get paid on clubs.
Yep.
And there's a club.
Well, sometimes there's someone has a bigger club out there. If it checks through and Joseph value bets the river, he can probably get a street of value, assuming it's a safe card. Will Stewart bet here? It's reasonable to bet. Not just, but he's going to give everyone a free card. Turns out he's way behind in drawing dead, so.
Way behind and drawing dead. That's bad news.
Yeah,
Joseph probably needs to bet here.
I think so.
If he checks, I bet Stewart would bet.
Well, we're going to get a chance to find out, I think. Unless Timmer takes a flying leap at this. Nope. Three
Spread
ways.
your wings and fly.
Stewart. It's close. You figure someone would have bet their flush or their 8, though, on the river, right? When it checks through on the turn. I think Stewart probably should be going for value here.
I think you should get called by weaker jacks. I think Jack
Yeah.
10 is a pretty clear check, but King Jack you can try for value. Oh, he does check.
Wow, he does it. Joseph can have all sorts of weaker jacks. Joseph can have Jack 3 suited, you know? Like, you can take a shot at that. But Stewart completely avoids the trouble.
King Jack, King of Clubs or something.
Are they still playing?
Not bluff, but
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that was a great check or not. I don't think I would have made it, but man, that was perfect.
There goes Stewart. There he goes. What a check. You see, that's a jingle.
Yeah, it does sound like it's a commercial.
Yeah.
It's true.
You're welcome, Stewart. You can use that if you want.
If you if this episode gets enough views, maybe people will sing it to him at the table.
I wonder if people have started shouting about the rooster to Joseph
I
yet.
am sure that has happened. I don't know that, but it must be the case, right?
Like, as sure as you are that the world is round.
I feel like I'm more sure about the rooster thing. And not because I think the world is flat, but just like the rooster thing must have happened.
Open ender here for DM5.
Bottom pair for Marty.
And that's the nuts for Marty.
30.
Yeah. I wouldn't advise check raising here, DM5.
I
Let's
would
see if
not
he agrees.
either.
He does agree. Just the wrong target.
Check. Check.
It's a nothing card.
Marty checks it back. I like it. And DM5 not even
Just
pretending.
trying to grab his equity and
Yep.
not anything else.
It was really cheap for him to, to do that.
Nice kicker.
Cost him $30 on the flop. He got to see 2 cards.
Yeah, King of Clubs is the
All his outs were live. It's pretty good.
Had to have a king.
14 cards to hit. See if we could use other melodies from famous songs, we could do things like Marty in the USA or Marty all the time. Marty all the time.
I feel like both of us are
Marty all the time.
both of us, and admittedly, especially me,
Yeah.
are tone deaf enough that maybe we can get away with it. That we're
The
like,
algorithm won't hear it
Yeah.
anyway. The YouTube algorithm, which is always hunting for us.
they are
It's like
sharks in the water,
it's
and
like
we're just
Crimson Tide.
we're just in open water with our legs kicking around, just hoping for the best. Not the flop nines wanted to see.
Houston got
Timmer has a
out there.
pretty good hand here.
They had a commercial.
It's okay. I mean,
Oh, I see.
Overs
and a gut shot.
and the gutter to the nuts and
Got the weird guy on this one.
a board that's going to be tough for his opponents to continue on.
I think you overstated the quality of the hand, and I take issue with it.
Well, it's because you were talking about nines as if nines were the ones who were paying it, had the lead in this hand.
They did.
Nines can go suck up egg.
I
Kendrick, now we
would
Kendrick.
appreciate if you didn't say that,
Why?
because eggs are part of my family.
What does that
You
mean?
weren't hitting 10 to 1.
I have some eggs
What
that I
is-
paint, and I call them my sons.
Oh, okay. Because it could have meant some other things.
If
Such as?
Washington win this game,
Like,
money is not the
You and your wife
sweetness in
don't have children, you have eggs.
That's
You know
exactly what I just
no,
said.
No, I mean like
So sad.
biologically.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Oh,
So
are those the eggs that you
upset
painted?
And
No.
the guy, so
Oh,
he's,
because that would be interesting.
you know,
No,
he
we eat
wants
those.
to pay those. He wants he wants to give the refunds. You know
You
what I
eat
mean?
which
Because
ones?
Yeah.
The eggs that
We
you
don't need to
paint?
get we don't need to get into it.
charge.
It got weird. It got real weird.
Yeah. Poker time.
Call. Fold. Raise 20. Fold.
Marty's gonna click it back to 20 here with the ace-7 off from the hijack
It's not fun
to the Timur limp.
to think that.
It's about as easy a call as Rafi's ever gonna have.
Look out, gravy.
The Raffinator.
3 players.
Banana Man.
Do you think he goes by that? Banana Man. I was actually gonna propose something featuring Banana Man. I'll wait.
Okay,
Oh, was Granky not the one that gave
But it's
up
important.
rounds?
No,
Check.
sounds
Check.
important.
Whoa.
no.
Marty
Five's-
checks.
Five's still in the lead here.
I'm really surprised Marty checked that.
Now the 8-6 is taking the lead.
Flush draw though for Timur.
If they lose, that decision's gonna be
Not a
tough.
good one.
Nope.
Take the
Check.
Washington pitcher. You know,
Marty's gonna check. Marty's gonna check again. I'm really surprised. Marty never takes a shot at this.
You mean he pitched to the top of the ninth the first
Yeah,
time.
yeah. and
Just
then-
because Marty's nature seems to be, you know,
Don't even start the rally.
'cause it was just like
do what he does.
25.
You know, it's like
the momentum.
This is a nice thin value bet from Rafi here.
who's only betting 25. It acts as much as a blocker bet as anything else, but
Yeah.
also to get a tiny bit of value from slightly worse hands. And as we see,
It's
there
working.
it goes.
Barely
Hit the
cleared
screen.
and barely
Marty lets
cleared.
it go. Nice job by Rafi.
Call that. The umps can't take that one away.
Confident turnover of the
They happened
8-6.
one other time.
He had a similar board when he value bet Wonka incorrectly with an 8, but this time,
Wait.
Great.
this time it went the other way.
Broken clock, etc.
Nice.
Because I put some on LA and
Is that the first time Brian at a poker table's ever
So I have a
been called
proposal featuring Banana Man. I
Hit
think
me.
we need like an odd couple style sitcom called Marty and Banana Man.
I thought Wheel and Banana would be good, but Marty and Banana. I mean, really, if you take any two combinations of the guys at this table, it could be a pretty good show.
And here's the thing. Here's the twist. Banana Man is the fastidious one.
with you in that ocean game, though.
His banana costume is very well pressed at all times.
Nice.
Marty, have you seen my banana costume? I don't know.
You want it?
I've been tied one off.
3 players.
That's the show. You don't like it?
No, I don't not like it. You know,
Great flop for the 9-8 of diamonds here.
huge. Timur has the ace of diamonds in his hand. Wheel's just gonna lead. Wheel often leads weak. I like that he's leading with such a powerful hand here, even though it looks like he's probably not gonna get any action. It shows some balance.
Fold.
Wonka a little suspicious, but it's got nothing going on with his hand. So,
Do you want to be Marty or Banana Man when we act out scenes?
oh geez, you just surprised me.
Okay, I'll be Banana Man.
Okay, I'm Marty.
Yeah. Marty, you left your cereal bowl in the sink again.
Shut the hell up, Banana Man.
Marty, you know I suffer from serious issues when you yell at me.
I'm gonna pour the milk all over the floor and ice skate. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm ice skating
Oh.
on the milk.
No, I do.
You've hurt Banana Man again.
Here's the cumulative winnings. Joseph way up. Marty way down. DM5 taking a bit of a hit as well. He's down 1.6K.
Joseph mostly up from one hand against Marty.
Yep. Timur is also up 1,000, and that's from that one hand against Marty as well.
Yeah.
They both got the big double.
They entered the Martyverse and they came out stronger.
Yep, into the Martyverse.
Fold.
I think a Banana Man and Marty animated show would be really important. It
Well,
would
I
have to
think-
be animated.
Well, I think we can kind of go back to a multimedia thing where we do have a sitcom live action, but, after the second commercial break of each episode, we have like a little short That's animated.
I don't like that.
Marty and Banana Man.
I think it needs to be animated all the way. If you want to do it, do the opposite and have a little bit of live action, but mostly animated.
No. You don't have the vision here.
You don't
Anyway, Marty
understand.
looks. Rafi, excuse me. Banana Man looks like he's gonna 3-bet the ace jack here.
Stuart
Stuart-
did raise under the gun, but Rafi's just going for the squeeze here.
It looks very strong when Stuart raises under the gun.
Well, sure. But Stuart's going to have a reasonable range, and this is near the bottom of that range.
What I'm
so
saying is when Rafi does this, it looks
Oh, I
very
see.
strong.
Yes.
Sorry if I wasn't clear about that.
Fair enough. That is true. But Stuart also does see how there's a lot of dead money in that pot. Well, not dead officially, but we can see the hands. they're relatively dead. I mean, even Marty can't call it the 8-5 of spades.
Marty can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, he's what?
He's gonna call.
He's folding.
Watch this. He's gonna make a tower.
He's going to fold.
He's gonna leave some dishes in the sink. He's acting as if
This is Marty and Banana Man, by the way.
Yeah, he's acting as if this is some sort of tough decision.
Banana Man, I need your help.
The question is to gamble or not to gamble.
I
It
have
is-
2 dates to the same prom.
Marty, I can't even get one date. Why are you rubbing it in my face?
Marty does let it go. Joseph just can't call with 2 3s, I don't
No,
think.
it's not
Rafi's
deep
not deep enough. He lets it go, and Wonka's never calling with Jack 10. Nice little pot for Rafi here.
Yeah.
You don't have it?
I don't have to do
Just show a 7 then. If you don't have it, do 7. If you show a 7, they think.
Rafi shows the power of squeezing the Charmin.
Nice hand.
What?
It's the toilet paper reference.
Yeah, but what? How?
You're not supposed to squeeze the Charmin.
Pair, but a lot lower than
It's from an ad. It's
still didn't like
commercials.
them setting up this
Like the 80s,
Okay.
where people would yell at other people for squeezing the Charmin.
That sounds like a sex move.
It does.
Just for the record.
Very much
Just
so.
for the record. Just for the record.
Maybe it is a sex move.
for the record.
I mean, I'm sure it became one after that commercial.
It should have.
Twice on this table.
What would? No, let's not.
Well, let's not get
Let's
into
not
it.
speculate on what it would be.
Joseph just folded king queen.
Why is that evidence?
After Marty limped?
That is strange.
That makes no sense.
I can't
at all.
I can't defend that. There's no defending that.
Got him in pre-flop against Hank
You did?
a long time ago.
He misread his hand.
That was,
Maybe
He thought it was king 4 off,
Rafi's got the same hand he had last
king
time.
6.
Now sometimes it's not the case, and he actually didn't muck his hand quick enough, and the
Yeah.
RFID table read it as the same hand. So that's possible. But he is raising, which indicates that maybe it is the same hand.
It seems like it's pretty likely because it's not the same 2 cards, is it?
I can't remember.
Me either.
Too busy thinking about Marty and Banana Man's potential
They're-
plot lines.
Escapades.
I was actually thinking more of like the seasonal through line than like the individual episodes, because that's tough to maintain.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Top pair for DM5. Now a gut shot for Rafi.
If it checks to Rafi, I gotta believe he's gonna take a shot now.
The king is a great card because not only does he have a gut shot, he can rep a king.
No one's showing any strength or any interest in the pot. Turns out DM5 is certainly not folding.
No chance.
Is Marty calling with his gutter?
Yep.
Let's find out together.
Oh, no.
Marty's, he's paying attention. He's thinking about things.
Living with Banana Man has softened Marty.
Yeah. Oh, great card for DM5 on the river. Even though it does bring hearts,
And Rafi could have hearts, but DM5 can never fold this river.
I think Rafi's supposed to bet this.
I agree.
He's got the Jack of Hearts in his hand. Yep, I like this bet, even though it is destined
I
to
predict
fail.
DM5's chips will be in the middle before we see him.
Yeah.
No, not yet.
Well,
There's Marty.
oh, they're not. He does not like the heart.
I think he's considering raising. I think that's what's going on here.
That'd be a weird decision with
It
a
would
hand
be.
this good.
Call.
Usually either beating ace king or losing to hearts, right? When it's value.
Rafi turns it over like a pro.
Yep. Rafi upset because he knows if the 7 didn't come, he might have gotten it through.
He had a chance at least.
Rafi didn't make the big bluff when Wonka had 8s, did make the bluff here, and probably both ended up not working out. So probably if he'd done the opposite, it would have worked each time. Should have bluffed Wonka and checked here. Not that I blame him for betting this.
Did the other guy
Of
start the
course.
inning?
Marty not VPipping as hard as you would think, but
Not
that
at
is
all.
because he has been away from the table.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He gets credit for the hand, so even if he's
Yeah.
not here. Yeah, fair enough.
Did he?
So I'm having kind of a moment here. You know how there's like those illusions where it's like, is it 2 faces or is it a vase?
Yeah.
You know,
I do.
and you look at it different
Sure.
ways. Is it possible that Banana Man is actually Pencil Man? We've had it wrong this whole time.
Okay, so he gave up the home run.
He's just like a
Really
a wide pencil.
chunky pencil. I guess it could be like a marker, like a highlighter actually, like a yellow highlighter.
It wouldn't have a black tip.
Well,
then.
just you're saying it's a wide pencil. Like obviously we're not living.
But
in
I'm looking at
reality.
the lead on top, Jonathan. Anyway, we have queens for wheel.
Players.
I mean, he has referred to himself as a banana multiple times, so I'm thinking it's probably a banana costume.
But maybe that's what he calls pencils because it's cool where he's from.
Check.
Nothing for anybody. Wheel does have queens still. Doesn't love the king, but
Doesn't have to bet this,
Yeah.
but certainly could.
Bet.
against these two players, I think the move is to check actually and just never fold turn and river unless it's a terrible run out or there's a lot of action that you
I
don't
mean, these are
expect.
two guys who are going to call with any pair, though. It's okay to bet.
True, but they're also two guys who are going to bluff a lot.
Yes, that is very true. Very true. And you have very little to protect against, right?
Mhm.
Like an ace is the only bad card for you.
Pencil man is nonplussed.
Astros have a guy on first, 2 outs.
Yellow highlighter man is
Lefty on lefty.
thinking about, do those things back there stand out enough? Maybe I need to go
2, right?
work my magic,
Oh, that would be so cool.
huck my wares a little bit.
Oh, he's so cool. They just have
I don't see how it can be a highlighter when he's got a black tip. That's the pencil tip.
Why does it have, why can't it be a black tip? You can't highlight
You
things
said
with-
yellow highlighter man.
Yeah, is that not yellow? Do you not see yellow all
But then
around
if the
him?
tip is black, then it's a black highlighter.
That's why I said push-ups.
I mean, you're crazy now.
The national
What are you talking about? You know I'm right.
Hey, it's queens for wheel, but that is not
No,
queens for wheel.
That time Wheel
Yes.
held on to his hand a little too long.
As you see, DM5 has the queen of diamonds in
Yeah.
his hand, and it was 2 red queens for wheel. So that was wheel not getting rid of his hand in time. That happens a little bit. We try and keep up with it, so you don't have to.
contact.
Well, an 8 for Joseph.
Bottom pair, no kicker, and that's all we got so far.
Still all we got. Well, we got
Well, no.
3 for Marty.
We got Joseph getting a little value right now with an 8 is what we got.
Gosh, how am I gonna? This is so sick. You hit the 3? If you hit the 3, that's so sick.
Will Joseph go for thin value here? This is the guy to do it against. Oh, Marty's gonna bet. That's a bad bet. I'm just gonna tell you right now.
Yep.
Show me the 7.
That's a bet. I guess Joseph could have the ace X of hearts, but it only cost him $10, I guess. I guess if Marty's calling all bets,
I don't see it.
maybe it's good for him to block with 10 rather than
Yeah.
check call 80. Joseph might feel obligated to bluff. He wouldn't, though, right? He's either going to bet for value or check there. That's
Probably.
Marty. Seriously, I think Wonka and Rafi both used the same can of spray paint for that bow tie and costume.
That's really good spray paint.
Yeah. It's fabric spray paint. It's pretty.
Fold. Fold.
Wonka. Just a little bit too tight.
Raise.
Yeah, that's an okay fold.
No, of course it is.
Fold. Call. Call.
Hey man, did you get a haircut on the break?
I did.
Okay. Okay. Very nice.
Cut and a
I'm
die.
calling more than 5% of his stack there with 6-4 off.
Are
on
you
the button.
surprised?
No, just calling the action.
Yeah.
Too easy.
Well, he has a gutter.
He does, and nobody has a king.
Nobody has anything. If Marty, who is on? Wheel's going to take a shot though.
Bet. 55.
Wheel does have the backdoor royal draw, I guess.
Sold.
Marty is calling.
Heads up.
Marty's got a chance to win this pot.
Absolutely.
Wheel may very well give up on a lot of turns like that one. Marty takes
Well-
the lead anyway.
Yeah, Marty could win this pot in a lot of ways. Just pure showdown.
Wheel's going to bet again. It's basically just setting money on fire.
Bet. 55.
There it is. Marty can't call fast enough. Well, Wheel does have a few cards that can bail him out. 5 live cards.
Not one of them, but Marty can't love it.
Can't love it, but will he fold? If you're going to do it, you should move him in. I think it's move him in or check. I don't know if Marty's going to call a move in.
Wheel checks.
That's fine.
Slow roll. Slow roll.
No, that's good. That's good. I'll give you 10 to 1.
Wheel out a little card funeral.
I wasn't.
But I will.
Jonathan's
But I will
favorite.
slow roll.
Yeah.
I was not predicting a slow roll. I was rooting for a slow roll.
It's not a big enough pot. Not a big enough pot.
Nice hand.
Stuart's the kind of guy who will get a launcher out, sit by the highway, and hope there's a big crash.
Yeah, real nice guy.
There's only one way to know, Jay,
Yeah, I know.
and you don't really want to know
I really don't want to know.
because you would have did it.
Maybe
Did it.
let's have it a 5 and not a 6. And then I get it in there.
Both.
Either snap
Both.
tail helmet on you.
Both. Both. Raise. 35.
Marty doing some weird stuff as far as looking at Joseph.
Now he raises to 35. He's been raising to 25.
Fold.
Because it's a slightly better hand? Is that what's going on?
You know.
I don't know.
I could not begin to guess. And Wonka in a beautiful spot.
Yep. The only question is, how does he size it so Marty doesn't fold?
Marty might not fold for a lot of
I think
sizes.
Marty's going all in, actually, almost no matter what, is my guess. I've seen Marty with suited aces.
It's possible. It's definitely possible.
But, you know, with a hand slightly worse. Wonka maybe goes 150.
Raise, make it 160 total.
Raise
160.
Call.
Marty calls.
Calls. Did not go all in.
DM5, of course,
overcalls.
Of
Wow.
course has to call as well. This kind of play has worked for DM5 for the last several sessions.
It's going to be tough this time.
It seems hard. He's going to need to hit some jacks or make a straight or just bluff everyone's shoes off. But he's done those things in the past. That is a great flop for Wonka.
Gut shots for his opponents.
Yep. He might even get a little action here. I don't see Marty folding.
I hadn't acted yet.
Yeah.
But
Oh, I think
He does have backdoor spades as well.
Yep.
the shuffle.
He checked.
No,
David did not Nick.
Checked. All in.
He checks.
Wow, he's trying to give Marty all the rope. Marty does move in.
Well, this is a snap call for Wonka.
Of course. All
And
the rope.
Marty does have 38%.
Yeah, Marty's got more equity than Wonka would really want here. Wonka could be hoping for maybe no outs or 5 outs or something. But still a great spot for Wonka.
We gotta give him a sweat. Like
What do you want? 7 of spades?
Spade would be seven of spades. That's 7 of spades. Is not
Big old brick on the turn.
Make you sweat a little bit.
Ace of diamond.
Just an ace or a 7.
Total safety. Marty's going to have to give this one up. Don't hate the move in by Marty, actually. I think it's fine once it,
Yeah.
when Wonka checks there. Wonka's got a lot of folds.
pretty good flop for Queens.
yeah.
Wonka had a Marty-specific plan,
Yep.
and he followed through.
He executed it to perfection,
All right, then, boys,
much
good
like
luck.
the everlasting gobstopper.
See you, Marty.
You believe that's the perfect candy?
I believe it is a perfect execution of a candy.
Does he have his
It's different than being a perfect candy.
Is there a perfect candy?
Yes.
And it is.
The Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. Wow. Are you insane? What's better than that?
Butterfinger.
That's a joke, right?
No, I love Butterfinger.
You may love it, but you can't think it's more perfect than the Reese's
I
Peanut
do
Butter Cup.
think that.
You're just saying that to be inflammatory.
No,
I'm
think-
looking at your face. I see you're lying right now.
I'm smiling because of how serious you are. And how upset you are by this notion that somebody could like a Butterfinger better than a Reese's.
I just not taking you seriously because it's such a.
No.
Look, I would never call you stupid,
Okay.
but that was fucking stupid.
let me say something.
Okay, Joseph has ace jack suited. Yeah.
I feel like, as far as the public is concerned, I'm probably on the English muffin side of
Yes,
this one,
yeah.
where they're gonna mostly agree with you.
Of course they are.
But that doesn't change my opinion.
Right, but this is not an opinion thing. We're talking about factually. Which
What do you
candy's
mean
closer?
factually? This is opinion. It's
No,
subjective.
There's a ratio of chocolate to peanut butter, which is essentially perfect.
Scientifically proven. Anyway, Joseph has ace jack.
Butterfinger.
Yeah, Butterfinger.
You didn't even say something reasonable like Snickers. You went Butterfinger?
Shut the hell up. Butterfingers are great.
You are a disappointment.
My mom says that all the time.
I know.
Check back to the queens before. Be very careful. You're not worried about queens right here.
No.
Shoot that or something.
So much. No, because I'm going to be officially like 1-1 against fruit, and that's if you can only beat bananas half the time. Look at this. I'm playing a different side of the deck than he is, right? But it's for the rest of my life, I'm going to be known as the guy that can only beat a banana half the time. This is bad. This is as bad as it gets. Good thing I'm
Pencil,
58.
Joseph.
He's the highlighter, Joseph. By the way, maybe that blackness is the
Like your
cap
hands up.
on the highlighter.
That doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. It'd be a little more protruding than that,
Yeah.
wouldn't it? Yeah. All right, best fruit. Go.
Best fruit.
Do you know
Yep.
what
There's such an obvious answer to this, too. This is ridiculous. Take more time.
song was?
Peaches, a good peach is a really good.
You know what? I wasn't going there, but it's hard to argue.
Timber's got queens.
Okay.
Really good. Peaches have a lot of variance, though.
That
That's
should be massive variance. A great peach, though, is as good as it gets.
Yeah.
I will agree with you there. All right, well, let's watch this hand and come back to it. Wonka's got 6-5 suited on the button. This is
That is one of the.
fun.
it's
It
not a heat.
looks like DM5 is going to play some crappy hand.
It says
some sort.
five
yeah,
deuce.
5 deuce. 5 deuce of hearts.
good guess.
Harry met Sally.
Wonka's absolutely calling at least. He
Has
might
to call.
3-bet some of the time,
Yeah.
but probably not Timber's under the gun range.
That seems like exactly the wrong guy to do it.
Yeah.
The lady says I'll have what she's having.
Ravi has an easy call as well, and Wonka better hope clubs don't come.
Well, a lot of them are accounted for at least.
Yeah.
When movies were like actually movies.
I think we all should be throwing this one away, even though he's getting a great price, and he agrees.
But when that technology wasn't,
Four players.
just wasn't there, the screenwriting had to be better. I'm just saying. I'm not saying they're not movies, but screenplays.
Well, Wonka flops pretty well.
He flops really well. He could even raise with this hand.
Yep.
It's kind of a cool hand to include in your raising range.
Well, it's one of those spots where every time you improve, you scare the heck out of your opponent, right?
Yeah.
So
DM5, of course, going to come along with the old Deuce 5 here.
I don't hate a raise at all right now for Wonka. Now that we're talking about it more, especially with DM5 calling.
You know, if
There's already
you're
460 in
real
the
lucky,
pot.
I mean, I would be hoping that it doesn't.
The problem is if you raise and you get shoved on, you
Yes.
kind of have to go with it because you could be against 2 overs and a flush draw.
I think you get yeah. That is the one real problem. You are on the button as Wonka, so you could decide to delay your decision and just call here. And
But then
figure it out
the
on
Jack of
turn.
Diamonds comes on the turn, and what the hell do you do, you know?
Well, then you can just call.
Yeah.
What if the bet is
He'd just be one of the guys.
$500?
I mean, absent the
And
yellow
you
bow
raise
tie.
to $560.
Nice.
Get that fold equity.
Yeah.
That sweet, sweet fold equity. Anyway, here's the turn. And bingo, bango, bongo, it's a chop.
It is a chop between Wonka and DM5. Nobody's going to like the spades.
Keep it weird.
Timmer, of course, that's his disaster card.
Yep, that's about as bad as it gets for Timmer. Team 5 checks the 5.
Wonka's thinking about how he's going to lure some unwilling kids to his factory to dip them in chocolate until they no longer breathe.
This definitely feels like a bet for Wonka. I don't think you want to give both players a free shot at a spade here.
Getting check raised would be
Sad.
stomach churning.
Yep. We know Timmer is incredibly unlikely to raise
Yeah,
here.
I think he's most likely to fold.
DM5 has that play in him.
He does.
He might be doing it for value even. Definitely some players would do that.
This is not the best way to make it straight for either DM5 or Wonka because, of course, another straight gets there that's bigger
Yeah.
along with the spades.
Yeah, my guess is DM5 is just going to call, and if the river's safe, we'll get one more check call.
Oh,
DM5
DM5 just folds. That's
Wow.
interesting.
What the hell? He made his straight and check folded.
Was he only looking for the 3, maybe? Is that possible that he didn't see the 8 being a card that helped him?
That is the best explanation I have because I got nothing else. We've seen him call so much later
Yeah.
for so much more money. So it can't be about that.
Maybe he just thought it was way too easy for him to be drawing dead there.
I mean, he's drawing dead sometimes. But you think he would at least call and figure it out on the river
You
at
would,
a minimum.
You would expect that.
I mean, Wonka could definitely have a pair and a big spade in his hand, you know?
Yeah.
Raise to
Well,
40.
it's kind of hard for him to have that in actuality.
it
but
is.
DM5 may not think that because DM5 would have those hands, you know?
I don't know. Based on DM5's pretty impressive post-flop navigation, I imagine he has a pretty good read on what types of hands players have.
You make a fair point. Rafi
Raise
going to
130.
3-bet with a quite good hand this time.
Wheel really wants to play.
He sure does. He's like biting his wrist.
Fold.
All right, bud.
Not the hand you really want
I don't want to play
when you get 3-bet out of position.
Nope.
I don't want to do it.
This is just recipe for disaster, this hand. when especially when a person who's 3-betting you with the right frequencies
Yep.
and they're in position against you, there's just not much you're supposed to do except throw it away. I guess you could 4-bet it once in a while, but call feels pretty bad. Now, if they're 3-betting you with the wrong frequencies, oh, we can do all sorts of things.
Yes.
I had a hand that I think I could 3-bet.
Yeah, I felt like sometimes people read too much into it. You know.
Marty ain't folding this one.
That's a guarantee.
This is bullet number 3. Interesting spot for Joseph where you kind of want to be in the pot against Marty, but you're +1. DM5 doesn't think it's interesting at all. I think it's super straightforward.
Better hand can often be way better than a way better hand.
There's no money bubble in play. I can't,
Raise 55.
can't threaten you that way.
Yep.
Fold.
That is the unofficial chip
Call.
leader.
Call. 3 players.
DM5, of course, is going to call as well, closing the action. He's got a suited 3.
He's got a suited 3. He's
And
got a
there's
flush draw.
Pretty good. He flops pretty well.
Wheel flops really, really well.
Bet 125.
Yeah, everyone has something here, and Marty's in a lot of trouble.
Yep.
Marty's drawing pretty much dead here.
He's going to need an ace or an 8.
Yep.
There's the flush for DM5.
I don't hate a lead here for DM5. Looks like he agrees.
Bet 225.
This is going to just check through so often if you don't bet it yourself. And now you're here, your wheel. This is a tough spot when it's DM5
This
doing
really,
this. I don't
really
think you can
sucks.
fold.
Oh, God.
He's putting some of that blood on.
That's what I feel like right now.
Dude,
No max,
don't
no
do
hair.
that.
I don't think he's going to call after giving that speech. though.
No.
Feels like a fold now.
That's a bit of a morbid joke.
I'm going to just do a time.
Feels like he's just burning a time card for no reason.
We've seen Wheel do that before.
Yeah, we have. He does all this in calls or raises. That would be pretty outrageous, but he lets it go.
Jonathan may have heard, but he probably wasn't even here.
What's Marty going to do? Marty's usually going to call here, right? Being Marty.
Usually going to call.
And then Will took one of and then did the fake blood thing. That was
Oh,
better.
dude.
Not a great spot.
Yeah, he was sitting that hour out. That's what I was saying.
Marty going to let go of top pair?
Wow, this would be un-Marty-like, but it would be correct here.
It was awkward.
I mean, against DM5, you could.
Nice.
That's a great fold. You could really make a case
Yeah.
to hold on here as Marty.
That's pretty unlucky for DM5. They didn't get any action there.
I mean, in truth, Marty should be at best chopping, right, when DM5 overcalls the flop on an ace 8-8 2 diamond board and the diamond comes on the turn. Like, Marty can beat kind of nothing at all.
I think I've figured out the plot for one of our 22 episodes of Marty
Good.
and Banana Man.
Good.
You're going to like this plot.
I believe it.
All right, so as an overall thing, Banana Man doesn't drink.
There was two eight.
Right.
Marty drinks plenty. You
Sure.
know? They go to bars together and stuff, but Banana Man usually doesn't drink. But Marty figures out a drink that masks the taste of the alcohol really well. And he just really, kind of because he's goofy Marty, wants to get Banana Man drunk.
Yeah.
He
like
does
a
it.
Pina colada.
He does it. Banana Man loves it, but turns out he's kind of a maniac when he's drunk, and he ends up in the drunk tank in jail. And Marty's got a whole bag of worms to unpack to get Banana Man out of jail now.
I guess that's pretty good.
That's a pretty good.
I didn't like it as much as I thought I was going to.
Come on, that's a pretty good episode.
It's okay. You know what the problem is for me?
What?
So many sitcoms have done and mostly cable sitcoms like on HBO and stuff, have done these characters who don't normally do drugs are now doing drugs, and look how crazy they are
Well,
when they're on drugs. Isn't
I-
it funny? And I never find that funny.
I was aware it was a trope when I was doing it,
Yeah.
but it felt
But
like
I
something.
was waiting for the twist then. I need you
Well,
to
okay.
twist away from the trope.
And then Banana Man dies.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Episode 3.
yeah.
We're still going to call it Marty and Banana Man.
Yeah.
In fact, we can do like The Simpsons and just have him be in the next episode as if nothing ever
Yeah.
happened, you know? Kind of like that. That's actually kind of great.
Anyway, we have a flush draw for Wheel.
Timber with top pair. And is Marty going to lead? Yes, with the absolute worst possible hand.
I mean,
Especially since it's a short game. If you do like
Wheel has an easy call.
6-7 hour session, it's one thing, but
I can't imagine Timber throwing it away either.
it's busted.
Well, not everybody uses their 30 seconds.
Yeah, you just do more time, more.
It's always weird in No Limit where you're like overcalling with top pair reasonable kickers. A little bit in no man's land, not as much now, but even I guess if you know there's bets keep coming in, coming at you, you could still be behind. You know,
Get into it like 4 hours.
I'm not arguing for longer time
it's like,
cards
well, I
or
hope this one
more,
works
you know.
out.
Let's get 7 of them at a minute. I'm not saying that.
Marty bets again, by the way. What in the living?
He's got the 3 deuce, you know, bottom of the range.
I'm gonna say Marty never gets this through. When I'm looking at Timmer's hand specifically, of course, makes it easy.
Yeah, Timmer's calling.
Marty only has 590 left. I think Timmer should just call
That
here,
was on the king,
just to
queen
give
shove,
Marty a
wasn't it?
chance to fire with all things. But it's not crazy to move him in also, because
I mean,
usually Marty has something, and usually Marty's not folding that something. And there's the raise.
That's going to do it. Marty's
yeah.
not doing anything with 3 deuce, obviously.
Marty's going to pretend to go all in and instead fold.
Yep.
I think just one.
Oh, I thought you used
All right, I got the beginning of another episode
Okay.
of Marty and Banana Man. I don't have the conclusion.
Sure.
Banana Man's going to space camp, which he does
Good.
annually.
Yeah, he loves it.
Loves space camp.
Like I hear you.
And Marty, as one of his practical jokes, fills Banana Man's space camp spacesuit with cayenne pepper. Just sprinkles it everywhere in that spacesuit.
So is it really? Is it like painful? Is it itchy? What is it?
I don't know. I haven't had cayenne pepper all over my body, but it's gonna be everywhere.
Well, we'll have to do a little experiment,
Yeah.
I guess, and find out what it is. You know.
We don't have to be accurate for the show. It's a sitcom, so it can,
That's fair.
Banana Man can react however we want him to react.
I was thinking though, in an unexpected twist, Marty goes to pick up Banana Man from Space Camp because of all the cayenne issues, and Marty ends up working there as a counselor, as a camp counselor, and now is the boss of Banana Man.
And also
For-
learns a lot about himself in the process. Anyway, Banana Man has raised
He learns about
50
the
with
value
ace
of
queen.
friendship.
That one was better, huh?
Yeah, it was good. That was really good.
really?
Not tropey until the end, but that's okay because that was made it even better.
Bottom of the 8th.
Gut shot for Marty, 4 for DM5, nothing for Rafi.
Wow, even 2 to 1.
Joseph.
No, I mean.
It's these two opponents, yeah, I like a check
I would've given
on
you
this
the
board
reason
by
for
Rafi.
Now Marty
Marty
has
really-
a gut shot and a diamond draw.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I don't think he's going to get through DM5. Oh, he's
What?
moving in.
He's
maybe
gonna get through DM5.
Maybe he's going to get through DM5.
540 into 2.
Oh, DM5 just snap calls the
What?
540.
540 into 160. Gets snap called by bottom pair. No kicker.
At least he's got 44%.
Wow.
What a deal. What if a 5 comes?
What a super sick call by DM5. An instant super sick call. He had a plan, ladies
He
and
knows his
gentlemen.
opponents.
He
you know?
does. He does. He's right. Let's see if Marty can get there.
There it is.
Yes,
Yes.
he makes the straight. Something DM5 blocked. But Marty makes the nut straight.
DM5 seems to be the only guy that Marty can beat.
Bullet.
And just another great example, though, of how DM5 knows where he is in these hands and understands the players he's playing against so well. Like, I think pretty much every other player at the table folds that in quickly.
Yeah.
Even the pros, like, just fold it right away. It wouldn't occur to me to call either, quite
Well,
frankly.
he wouldn't be in there pre-flop.
I would not. But if somehow I was forced to be in there, you know, if I had to post or something like that,
Yeah.
He was going to show
I would have folded comfortably, never thought a thing of it, you know, and instead DM5 gets his money in with like 56% equity in a pretty great spot.
6 push-ups in.
You think he's sort of like Arnold Schwarzenegger in that movie where he's the robot that comes back from the future? And
Jingle all the way.
yeah, I don't want to say the name of it because that's the name of one of our other players, so
Ah.
it seems weird to say he's like that guy, you know. So the robot killer guy that Arnold Schwarzenegger plays in all those movies.
Yeah. He's like that.
Yeah. Where he's like is analyzing all the things humans do and getting all this like extra like AI advice all the time.
Yeah.
Marty moved in. Must call. Stuff like that.
That's
That sounds right.
kind of an offensive robot accent.
They have different standards than we do. Well, we don't know what Stuart has, but nobody else has anything.
That is for sure.
Timmer's going to just fire away. At least it's a super dry board.
Stuart did not have a queen, unless that's the tightest fold of his life.
Unless DM5 wants to make a play, he does not. Maybe licking his wounds from the that hand against the party himself.
Yeah.
Some people say it's a two-party system. I say it's a two-Marty system.
That sounds scary.
She really did hook you.
Kinda.
Can you imagine if there was another Marty in the same room with this Marty?
I'm sure it's happened in their lives.
How likely is that room to survive that situation?
Fold.
You can always make a good guess at servers that are going to pour stiff drinks.
Uh-huh.
They're always the ones that like to drink themselves.
Is that right?
Fold.
I think there's something to it.
Option.
Why would you order from anyone else?
This is a close one for Wonka. I think it's pretty reasonable to raise the queen 10 here against these
yeah,
guys.
yeah, for sure.
Raise. 60 total.
Yep. I don't think he's going to get any folds, but he would probably feel really good even with 2 calls, how he's doing against their ranges. And I guess in fairness, he has the most equity, only because they're sharing a card. But
Face you can see at 10 to 1.
I'll take gamble.
he flops best.
It's not gamble.
Check.
Oh, that. That's gamble dressed up like.
I think he's going to be
Drake.
distracted and leave a piece exposed.
I imagine he's going to bet here. No, he checks.
Giving Marty all the rope.
It seems to be the strategy.
Indeed. Marty at least has bottom pair. It's not a crazy thing for him to bet here.
Not at all.
Wonka, of course, never folding.
Heads
Bottom
up.
of the 8th inning.
Anyone out?
No, but it is 2 and 2.
4 to 2.
Check.
Nothing really changes on that card.
2.
Now, if Marty bets again, he's mostly bluffing.
I guess he could be charging draws, but you wouldn't expect Wonka would be playing draws like this.
Yeah.
Doolittle, he'll come in.
No.
150. Seems like there's just no way Wonka could ever fold here.
I agree. I would be shocked if he folded.
I like Corbin anyway.
So you think Wonka's just counting to a number in his head while he sits there because he knows he's always calling? He counts
Yeah.
to like 10. He's like, okay,
yeah,
no,
that
it's
might
over.
be the case.
Could have started today on a regular rest.
The milking pot?
Oh, that was a pitch.
See if Marty can get there. He
Called out
cannot. That's a
strikes.
really bad card for Marty to
Wonka's
bluff.
pretty much never folding on this card.
Yeah, I don't think he was folding on most cards, but this is a super easy call for him if Marty were to.
That was inside.
Marty is going to just
Hit the
Take-
brakes. Yeah.
take a showdown value, and that was the right move, Marty.
That's for that one against Robles when they were in Washington in Game 5. It was high and outside. But that debunks the theory that the umpires are for Houston. That ball missed by a wide margin.
The umps at Washington were terrible.
Huh?
I thought the umps in Washington were terrible. The umps in Houston have been pretty good, I think, compared to.
No, I don't like the bailout call on the 7th yesterday. I don't like anything about that.
Fold.
Hard to make a perfect call.
Do you think Wheel is a pretty big presence on Yelp?
No, the
Running
objective,
down the line, you
objective
mean?
call. Yeah.
I'm going to go with no.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like he's got a lot of reviews on there.
Talking about strikes
Raise
and balls?
55.
Or
No, when they call turnaround.
Timmer limped Jack 5 suited. That's a bit strange.
That is really outside of his. When Marty folded ace 9 off,
Interference call.
what is going? Did they just switch bodies? I feel
don't
like they
know.
just switched bodies.
Maybe.
The umpires.
Maybe. Wonka with the same hand that Stewart raced with. He is in the small blind, so we might just fold it.
I think he's going to just fold it.
Hits him in the leg as his foot
Wonka's
touches
a
the mat.
little
He rewards the bad throw.
bit religious when it comes to his ranges. Excuse me.
Exactly.
Timmer just limp folded the Jack 5 suited.
Because he didn't want that $10.
And the right-handed
Yeah.
bat is at a disadvantage.
Like
The
this is
left-handed
not a
bat
table where you're
is
going to
at a
see very
disadvantage.
many times where it just
Starts in
that isn't raised pre.
Yeah.
He took a straight
So
right.
limping Jack 5 suited under the gun, probably just a way to burn money.
Lose 2 steps.
And he shaped it up before he got to the base. He was right on.
The rules only put there for like a bunt that stays right out in front of home plate, and the guys try to stay inside to get in the way of the catcher. But that ball was down the third baseline.
They called interference on a batter.
Is he going to limp the 7-3?
It's on a run.
Probably not.
On a
On
run.
a bunt?
No, it was just a swinging bunt. Swinging bunt.
Joseph will sometimes play this, sometimes not.
I was like, seems like you're always
This time is a yes.
hard not
Well,
to be on the
DM5 finally has a real hand.
And he just calls.
Wow. I am surprised. He really hasn't been 3-betting at all this,
No,
this,
no, he
this,
hasn't.
session, so
Call.
can't be too bad to call with Jack's in position.
No.
But, you know, the problem, of course, is, like, once Rafi calls especially, you're often going to get wheel calling. Now you're four-handed, and it's hard to win,
Well, it's not a good flop for Jacks.
even though they are currently ahead. So that's probably going to take a whack at this.
I don't think we're gonna see a fold yet from DM. Oh,
We do.
We do.
Maybe because Rafi's behind him and called him
Yeah.
a small blind. Rafi's
Yeah.
got a lot of reasonable aces
He
there.
does. It's a
Yeah,
nice,
that was just...
nice little win for Joseph.
That's one of the downsides of not 3-betting jacks. Is sometimes you just... you're just in a situation where you're just going to get bluffed really easily. And that's what that was. 1 bet is all it took. How did Marty fold that ace-9 off? I still don't understand.
I don't know. We've never seen such a thing before.
He's calling with so many worse hands. So much of the time.
Yeah.
Fold. Raise 25.
Yeah, for example, he just put in $25 with the 6-5.
Well, he didn't call.
Okay.
Fold.
But come on.
Yeah, I know.
Raise
You're right.
25.
Maybe he knows that you hate it when people flat with the ace-9 off, and so he just threw it away.
And look, this DM5 chooses some really bad timing to 3-bet the 5-3.
Yeah.
We were just talking about how he hadn't been 3-betting. Now Wonka with kings.
Wonka could play this super tricky and see if Marty wants to, just flat here and see if Marty wants to put in a big
Yeah.
raise. Marty will do that once in a while. Probably mostly plays better as a 4-bet, though, because DM5 is almost never going to fold to your 4-bet unless you size it really big.
With this hand, DM5 probably will, but you wouldn't expect him to show up with this hand
Exactly.
too often.
Yeah, if Wonka puts in the 4-bet, this hand's probably over, but Wonka could just make it, a slick 2-10 or something like that.
How do you make it slick?
25.
You'll see in a second because it looks like he is going to raise.
225.
So it wasn't slick. But he chose relatively small sizing with the raise already in there, Marty's raise already in there.
We've seen Marty call in these spots before.
This would be...
Here
if
it comes.
if he calls this and had folded... No, he's folding. This is another one of those I'm folding plays. I don't believe this is a call
I
for
agree.
him.
I think you're right.
He folded ace-9 off for 1 raise before. How can he call a 4-bet with this hand?
Oh, he did it!
No! And now DM5 comes along.
Wow, Wonka gets the deal of a lifetime.
This is beyond imagination. And no one has anything. Obviously, Wonka's got the overpair.
He's going to be a little bit afraid of those paired queens.
But these are the guys at least to have, if anyone's going to take a shot at you. And look,
DM5 is taking a shot right away.
I mean, it looks like DM5 has a lot of draws and very few trip queens, right?
As it turns out, he has less than 1% equity.
There are some very bad cards, though, on the turn for Wonka. Like a heart. Mostly a heart, because I guess he blocks King-Jack super hard. But any heart, I don't know. Maybe DM5 could make this happen. And there it is.
A 10 would have been bad, too.
Yep, 10 would have been tough. And DM5 does bet again. He makes a pair, but is bluffing. Only $605 back. Wonka without a heart in his hand. Really love to have the King of Hearts right now.
I'm being told by Esmeralda that this is the final hand of the episode.
DM5 took just taking a crazy line here.
Yep.
Calling the 4-bet pre. I understand he was closing the action, but still with that hand. And then leading and bombing the turn. I mean, bombing's a little strong. Bets a little less than half the pot, but still.
Not loving this action as Wonka.
I mean, DM5's already put in $900. He has $600 left. He's put in 60% of his stack. He's got a pair of 3s, and he knows they're no good.
DM5 is often playing with fire on these shows, and sometimes it doesn't work out. This looks like it might be one of those times.
Yeah, Wonka, he's the kind of guy who's going to use distribution to make these decisions here, and Kings are just a little too high up to really consider folding on this turn, even though it's a bad turn for him.
I don't know if you can reasonably take a shot on the river as DM5 with
I
600
agree.
back and 2.1 in there.
I agree completely. Wonka clearly is going to call the river. I'll tell you right now. There is no chance he's going to call the turn and fold the river when it's only 600 more. DM5 usually has a pretty good sense of this stuff.
Check, check.
And
He
does
does
give
go
up.
check.
Wonka's going to get to win a big one for the last hand of this episode.
Yeah, really big one.
We'll see you back here next week for some more poker time.
That was a fun hand.
Always been clear, too.